Hey guys, thanks for stopping by again. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about properties of arithmetic operators. We're going to be discussing mainly addition and multiplication. And to my Asian audience, thank you for tuning in. Today is going to be the Lunar New Year. And I'd like to say 新年快乐 and 恭喜发财. 恭喜恭喜恭喜. Welcome. We begin by saying that addition and multiplication are commutative. That is to say that A plus B is the same as B plus A. Example, 3 plus 5 is the same as 5 plus 3, which is 8. The order doesn't matter. Similarly, A times B is the same as B times A. Example, 3 times 5 is the same as 5 times 3, which is just 15. We can interchange A and B for both addition and multiplication. Let us now turn our attention to the associative property for addition and multiplication. This basically says that the order does not matter. For example, in addition, if I have A plus B and then add that to C, that is going to be the same as saying A plus and then B plus C, which is just A plus B plus C. So for example, if I have 2 plus 3 and then I add that to 5, that's going to be the same as 2 plus 3 plus 5. So on the left hand side, 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 5, and on the right hand side I have 2 plus 3 plus 5, which is 8, which is just 10. Now if I go to multiplication, this is saying that A times B, in parentheses multiplied by C, is the same as A times, and then in parentheses B times C. For example, 2 times 3, and then I multiply that by 5, is going to be the same as 2 multiplied by 3 times 5. Let us check. On the left-hand side, 2 times 3 is 6 times 5. That's 30. And on the right-hand side, that's 2 times, and then we do 3 times 5 first, that's 15, which is also 30. So the left-hand side and the right-hand side are the same for addition and multiplication, and that's called the identity property. For addition, the identity property says if I add 0 to any number, the result is any number. So for example, if I have 3 plus 0, that's just 3. The identity property for multiplication says if I multiply 1 times any number, that's just that same number. So for example, if I have 10 times 1, the answer is just 10. Let us look at some problems. If I have 2 times 6, that's the same as saying 6 times 2. That's the commutative property of multiplication. And the answer is just 12. 1 times 5 is the same as 5 times 1. Here we're employing the identity property of multiplication as well as the commutative property. 6 plus 0 is 0 plus 6, which is just 6. 6 minus 5 is just 1 times 3, which is just 3. Now here, 3 plus 2 plus 1 is just the same as saying 3 plus 2 plus 1. So on the left-hand side, we have 3 plus 3, and on the right-hand side, we have 5 plus 1, which is just 6. So both sides give 6. Let us look at number 6. 7 times 6 is the same as 14 times 3, which is just 42. Let us move on to number 8. 6 minus 1 is 5, and that is just the same as minus 1 plus 6, which is 5. Number 9, we have 0 times 5, which is 0. Again, anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Number 10, 1 times 8 is just 8. Number 11 is a little bit more tricky because we have 3 terms. We have 1, 2, and 3 terms. But again, we'll see that the order and associating which ones we do first doesn't matter. So on the left-hand side, we say 1 plus 5 plus 5, which is 11, is equal to 1 plus 2, which is 3, plus 8, which is 11. So both the left-hand side and right-hand side equal 11. Let us look at number 12. 1 times 2 times 3 times 5. 1 times 2 is 2, times 3 times 5 is 15. And on the right-hand side, 1 times 2 is 2, multiplied by 3 times 5 is 15, which is 30. Last, we have number 13. On the left-hand side, 1 minus 2 is minus 1, multiplied by minus 3, that's 3. And on the right-hand side, we have minus 3 times minus 1, which is 3. So left-hand side and right-hand side are the same. So again, it doesn't matter how we associate the numbers in multiplication. Let us review then. The commutative property for addition says that a plus b is the same as b plus a. So 3 plus 6 is the same as 6 plus 3, which is just 9. The commutative property for multiplication says that a times b is the same as b times a. So 6 times 3 is the same as 3 times 6, which is 18. For the associative property of addition, if we have 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 6, we can write 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 6, which is just 5 plus 11, which is 16. Or we can have 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 6. We can add 3 plus 2 plus 5 first, which is 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 6, which is 16. Both give the same answer. What about for the associative property for multiplication? If I have 3 times 2 times 1, I can say 3 times 2 multiplied by 1, which is just 6 times 1, which is 6. Or I can say 7 times 1 times 5 is the same as 7 times 1 times 5, which is the same as 7 times 5, which is just 35. Or I can have 7 times 1 times 5, which is 7 times 5, which is 35. Both will give you the same answer. The identity property for addition is just adding 0 to any number. So 1 plus 0 is 1, 8 plus 0 is 1, 0 plus 10 is 10. And the identity property for multiplication just tells us that any number times 1 is that same number. So 8 times 1 is the same as 1 times 8, which is just 8. Or 10 times 1 is 10. Or 10,000 times 1 is 10,000. The number remains unchanged. That concludes our lesson. Again, I appreciate you very much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting. I look forward to seeing you on the next lesson. Click like and subscribe. 再见，拜拜。